Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, Jon and Nez hanging out. Black and Yellow Dog app platform of the people. Underdog Fantasy. There it is. There it is. Fun day. Fun day. These are my favorite kind of shows. I'm not gonna lie, where we just kick our heels up, we just enjoy, and we just have some fun drafting dingers. We joked for so long, Nez, that it's a long con to get to baseball season here because it's truly my favorite. I don't know. Yeah. Is it still your favorite?
I still love baseball season, and I still feel I get a feeling when baseball season comes around and baseball season actually arrives that I don't get with NFL and I don't get with NBA. It is truly such an elite feeling. But the reason I feel different is because it's just no longer my best sport. People have came into this space that are really, really freaking good and are better than me. And because I have transitioned to NBA so hard in the last 2 years, it has definitely kind of mushed a little bit of the edge that I have in dailies and in best ball. So in terms of putting my money down, it's not the same rush of I'm the man, but God, I fucking love baseball season. Anytime that in Texas, we kind of get pump baked a little bit with spring weather. Anytime it's cold out, but you get one day of oh, we're breaking the cold and it's about to be spring. You know what I'm talking about. That first day of oh shit, it's springtime, baseball's coming. It all just lines up like the equinox, and it's just the best feeling in the world. So
I love it, man. I love it. It's poetry there. Yeah, you spoke it pretty well there. I've come to terms with I'm not as good as anybody at any sport anymore, so I can just sit back and be like, fucking, it's baseball, baby. I love baseball here. But I do the feeling like pitchers and catchers, spring training, that feeling of a little bit of dirt, a little bit of crack of the bat, a little bit of hot dogs and beers in the stands with the sunshine on your face. There's nothing like it for me, and I still truly hold it as my 101 here, and I do get really excited for dinger season here. So this will be our first dinger together. I did one on my own on stream. You guys can go back and find that. Nez did one with Davis on his stream. You guys can go check that one out. And then we did stacking dingers together with some of the macro principles. We'll reset a couple of those for everybody today, and then we'll hop in and draft our first team together and kind of just see where we're at there. But first things first, Nez, lay of the land for the next 2 days. Tomorrow is another Dog Bowl slate there. We'll talk about last night and some winners from the community. Truly great to see there. But tomorrow, just lay of the land for people here with, what did I click? There we go. Lay of the land for people. It is another Dog Bowl slate tomorrow, and we're going to run some major content tomorrow. Let's get this damn thing filled. It's a Friday. It looks like a pretty good slate from my bird's eye view right now. I think we're going to do some combination of 6 straight hours of content for you guys. Truly sick behavior. Or not 6 straight, 4 straight hours of content for the people here. We are going to do off and on the clock that is going to be sandwiched by basketball content on either side. So we're going to do a rapid fire members only in the morning, whether it's Nez or I. I think it's most likely going to be me. Yeah, does that sound right, Nez? Uh-oh. Did I lose you? Oh, you're good?
My dog's barking. My brother-in-law.
Oh, okay. You're good.
Sorry. And I froze for a second, but yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. Tomorrow morning, most likely me first, and then you're gonna do more stuff with Pete and Zakarian in the evening. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, right.
Okay,
right after off and on the clock.
Okay, so staggered plan right now is gonna be 1 p.m. Eastern, members only, 1 hour of hoops with me. Then we're going to do an hour and a half of off and on the clock for our regular show for NFL with Pete. And then we're going to spin that into a super duper NBA show that's going to be at the very least 3 and maybe 4 of us for a portion there of me, Nez, Pete, and Mike Zakarian. So it's going to be a really fun day of content tomorrow. And we're going to try and fill this damn Dog Bowl tomorrow. Should be great.
Yeah. I'm glad we're kind of blitzing this thing. It'll be it should be fun. I'm excited to chop it up. I got to get some drafts in beforehand though. That's gotta. We'll see how that works.
Yeah, we got to get our own volume mixed in there as well. Decent little plan there. Okay, so wanted to knock that out of the way to start. And then to start our show today, we'll talk about last night's hoop slate. We'll do a rapid fire of today's hoop slate, but no drafts, no kind of like walking it all through game by game, just a couple off the cuff takes. And then we'll talk macro dinger, and then we will slam some dinger drafts here as we keep going. Yeah, anything else to touch on there, Nez?
No, I think that pretty well summarizes it. Dog Bowl's back tomorrow, so
yeah,
don't get scared yet.
I like that. Okay, cool. That is, yeah, I think that's about it. All right, cool. Let's jump over to the beautiful Underdog interface here, and let's talk about the champs from last night. I see one of them in the chat right now. I imagine the other one is lurking as well. Shout out to our guy Magikarp and Best Ball Viper, both of them multi-time qualifiers. Now, Magikarp was in Dallas with us for football. Best Ball Viper, I believe this is his third time at the Dog Bowl. He was in San Diego for NFL. He was in Dallas for NFL where he won. He was in San Diego for NBA, and then he was in this one now. So that's 3. Yeah, there we go. Simple math by your boy. Yeah, had shots all on goal around here. At one point was holding 2 seats. Truly crazy stuff. Good night for the community. You see Mike Zakarian up here. You see Awen in up here. You see your boy up here. I had 4 different lineups hold seats at one point in time last night, Nez.
Wow.
It was early, but still, even at the completion of some early games there, I was boxed out with this one, unfortunately. But shots on goal, man, can't be too hard on yourself with that. But we'll take a look at the winner here. Shout out to Magikarp here. It was truly an SGA 101 night there. Jalen Johnson did his damnedest to get there with the 61 fantasy points, but SGA made it count with 65.9 there. You really needed this 3-person start there. Shout out to the cover boy, John Morant. Jalen Duren aged like wine once we got all the news. We like to attack against bigs on the inside against the Pels. And B, when we got the Cade news, Jalen Duren started to spike there. Gets Russell Westbrook, a.k.a. Russell Westbrick, to fall back to the other side there. IQ, who was a projection darling yet again. And then Con Knipple in the last round there. One of those Charlotte guys in the last round, or second to last round, were pretty good there. Thoughts and feelings, my friend?
Yeah, shout out to our guy Maggie. Yeah, I had quite a bit of that SGA Morant Duren combo as well with Brandon Miller, but yeah, just like that 6-round pick, I didn't get correct, and I didn't have enough IQ on that trio either. But like that was like the prerequisite to having a sweat, was getting that SGA Duren trio to start all the lineups at the top there. Feature those guys. It was a hell of a sweat, man. It was a hell of a sweat for the guys that were involved. I mean, Russ like doubled his fantasy output in the fourth quarter. I don't know if you knew that, but
yeah,
like,
they were down. They were down like 20 at one point, and I was like, oh man, they're gonna wave the white flag. Quickly's not gonna come into the ball game, and then Russ went nuke to give them a push, right?
Yeah, I mean, he had 19 fantasy points going into the fourth.
Wow.
Russ did, and yeah, finished with 36, just an absolute flurry. And Ja kind of finished with the flurry as well. So it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy.
Ja almost hit the game winner too. I don't know if you watched that game or whatever, but they basically got a stop with 4 seconds left, and they didn't have timeouts left, and he just brought it up the court, and then he kind of lost the dribble a little bit when he was trying to do a crossover to go left to then put up the 3 to win the game, and just kind of lost the dribble, and it made him like step back an extra 2 feet and like throw up a lower percentage shot than if he had just had a crossover. It was kind of unfortunate because, I'm always been a Ja guy, so I kind of like to see that shit go down for him. Take a look at Best Ball Vipers lineup here. Yeah, that same 3-man start in which you talked about, and then 2 pieces from the Charlotte game there. That Brandon Miller plus Con Knipple, and then IQ was kind of like the guy you needed. it was a weird little tier there where so many people were pairing Atlanta guys, like you will see in my lineup. This one was basically the exact same with Khan and whatever, and it was a 1v1 where people were pairing the Atlanta if Dyson came back to that side or if Na was there at ADP at like 26 to go with John Morant. That, that was my shortcoming there, but like it was a very natural pairing. So shout out to, Magikarp gets an ADP faller, and then shout out to Best Ball Viper who gets an ADP faller with Brandon Miller as well there. That was kind of like the big difference.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely like a bit of a weird slate. There were a lot of really big busts on the slate. I mean, like Chet, people were really pushing up. He absolutely failed. Derek White totally failed. DeRozan, 100% drafted, absolutely failed. Just a lot of not necessarily bad picks, but a lot of bad performances on the board. So like, really dancing around the landmines is what you had to do.
Yeah, good shouts there. Pretty crazy that like how putrid the scoring was in the Hornets game. Like they scored 29 in the first half or something like that. Yeah. And it was like, oh my God, none of these guys are going to be optimal. And then they come out and score like 36 or 39 in the fourth quarter. 32. They scored 32 in the third quarter. So they doubled matched their output from the first half in the first quarter of the second half, right? Like, so pretty crazy there. Yeah, we had the Zion flop too. We had the Knicks play too well after their players only meeting, so none of them played enough minutes to matter there. It was a tricky slate. It looked like Pascal Siakam was going to be optimal from the second round there for a minute, and the models were kind of down on him. Him and JB were looking like they needed to line up together. But then, you got the flourish from SGA and Duran / Jaw in that next window of games, and really took over. Trying to think through some other dynamics. That's kind of the long and the short of it there. I just still can't believe two Hornets pieces wound up being optimal after how bad that first half was. And like LaMelo was 1 for 15 in that game and 0 for 10 from 3. Like just crazy, man.
Yeah, that was, like I said, really weird slate.
Take a look at the exposures there. Despite two top 25-ish spots there, you still lose money on the slate because it's a dog bowl. Tons of Jaw was proud of that. Tons of Jalen Duren was proud of that. Got on the BI, flipped the board stuff. Didn't turn out. It was IQ who had wound up being more important on the other side of the board. Proud of the Brandon Miller stuff. Asar was kind of a staple of mine once I played the Cade out card. I was getting to him and Jenkins and Tobias Harris in the last round there. But then, the Giannis take aged really poorly. I should have had the Jalen Johnson over Giannis like the hashtag models did in hindsight. Giannis just not playing full these days. But but shout out to Best Ball Viper and shout out to Magikarp, two great NBA players, two great players on the site in general. Good shouts there. Nez, before we jump into the dinger, I think the people would like your abbreviated thoughts on today's NBA slate. I've only done 5 of them thus far. We just got a news dump on the aforementioned Hornets there that looks like, we got Melo. Was it Q tag or out?
Q.
Melo got the Q tag. Yeah, Q tag, and then a P tag on Brandon Miller. We got some probable tags kind of littering the board with like the Jamal, but that one, with Jamal and with Embiid there. But just kind of like macro thoughts.
So today, I really like today's slate. I think there are some really strong picks pretty much like every round. So I am really concentrated tonight, way more concentrated than I was yesterday. We'll see how these Q tags and stuff break. But we get the Magic back in our lives since they've been traveling overseas for a while. We get them without Franz, which is actually kind of nice. So that is like really nice. It's a really loaded slate, man. There are a lot of really good matchups, a lot of really good players. Like there's not a lot of like ugly picks on the board. Like up and down, there's good picks. 6th round, I'm not scrolling a lot, but it is like I'm very concentrated there. Yeah, dude,
Who
I'm
do you
just
like
like,
in the sixth?
I'm sorry.
Who did you like in the sixth?
Like Norm Powell is just like an absolute jam. Like it's every slate. Every slate,
Yeah.
Norm Powell is a good pick because his projection on the site opens low. Nobody pushes him up, and like no one cares. Like he's in a dream spot here against Portland with no Tyler Hero. Really, really like it. Yeah, I think ADP is also like I have some concentrated spots. I'm not saying ADP is bad, but it's also like mega efficient. Like we are definitely in like a new era of main slate ADPs with this
Sure.
new layup line, and I think it's very healthy. So I'm a fan of it. Yeah, and then the Q tags, I will say, Julius Randle late Q tag is a really big deal. I am very worried about that. I've moved him down quite a bit.
Okay.
Kawhi Leonard as a Q tag, I think he plays because he's been ruled out all previous games or ahead of time. He's played through this Q tag pretty much every other time beforehand.
Yeah.
And then Keontae George Q tag, we got that last night. I think Keontae George is playing. It's his off forearm. It's a forearm strain. I know the Jazz will do anything they can to tank and lose, but they're playing a good team, so they're going to lose anyways. So I think Keontae George plays, and he's falling quite a bit.
Okay, cool. What were you doing with Nurk at his ADP? Because that was quite frothy yet again.
Back on. We're back on, baby. Nurk is back. Nurk is absolutely back, and yeah, I love him. I love him here.
Oh fuck, man! I don't have the heart for this game anymore, dude. I don't have the heart for it.
I mean, I'm gonna make national news if this happens again. Like, I'm just being real.
Oh, I love it. Good macro notes there, Nez. The only team on the back end back to back are the Hornets there, and it looks like we got the injury report already with the Q tag on Melo. Melo's been doing that staggered minutes thing. He's still shout out to us, man. Actually, the Pick'em got home last night that I was sharing on the stream there. So that was a nice one for everybody there. If you played alongside the 11Xer there with the Melo lower, the Cat lower, and then the higher on Jaw stuff there. But
nice.
Yeah, Charlotte being the back end of the back-to-back, only team on the back end of the back-to-back, and we already got an injury report from them. And then front end back-to-back is Denver and the Rockets and Portland, who all play tomorrow. So there's just things to think through there. The nationally televised games tonight are Prime Video. They're Prime Video tonight and tomorrow for what it's worth. You get Golden State at Dallas this evening, and then you get the Battle of LA with Los Angeles at Clippers, but in that same spot there. Juice McCaffrey dropping off 10 Badge Bros memberships while he's on vacation there. Thank you so much. Enjoy your time in Florida, my friend. Appreciate you. Leave that one up on the screen for a little bit. Anything else you want to share in terms of like, why don't you just give us like your 2 or 3 highest exposed players right now, and I'll share mine, and then we'll move to baseball for the day.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'll just like go by the main slate and not by the layup line here.
Yep. How many drafts? Sorry.
70 drafts.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah. I have a lot of Julius Randle, so I don't love that. I got a lot of Norm Powell. 30% Norm Powell, 40% Aaron Gordon, 33% Steph Castle, 30% Embiid, which is interesting. And 30% Jamal Murray as well. So
okay. So you have Jamal ranked at like 3 or something, and you're taking him over that group?
Dude, honestly, like I just am running so shit on Luka that I'm getting all these guys instead. I have 8% Luka. Like I promise you, I have Luka ranked 101. I promise. I just, I don't know who I pissed off, but I just can't get overweight Luka on a main slate to save my life. So
okay, yeah, unfortunate there. What do you think about Paolo right now? Now with the Franz rule out, like, will you move him up at all? Like Hornets on the back-to-back there.
I think he's like totally fine where he is in ADP.
Okay.
Yeah, he scares me.
Okay, sounds good. I like the Norm stuff for sure. That's a good shout. I had a lot of shade in my first couple runs there because I like that game. You know, it's super fast, man. It's 2 of the fastest teams in basketball playing one another with a 236.5 total there, the second highest on the slate. The only one higher is T-Wolves and Bulls, and I imagine that one comes down a little bit with no Randall there. Yeah, I think some of the 6th-round guys that you can be getting to now would be contingent upon the Randall stuff. You could also do some contingent upon Melo stuff, because as you look down here, there's a bunch of free Charlotte guys and there's a bunch of free Minnesota guys in the last round. So those would be a focus of my attention. I thought Bane was underpriced. I thought Shaden was underpriced in my first couple runs there. I kind of liked Sar and Peyton Watson in this kind of like middling tier here. And then, yeah, Kawhi, Steph, and Denny Avdia were my 3 that I was like, oh, those 3 look like I could move them up a little bit relative to the spots today and the ADPs.
Yeah, Denny opened at like 10 ADP.
Okay.
He shot up real quick to the 1-2 turn.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like it. If you want to play the contingent stuff, or not contingent, if you want to just play the other side of the Norm Powell stuff at less ownership, the real JJJ, Jaime Hawkes Jr. is down here. Wiggins is down there as well. Maybe lack a little bit of ceiling in comparison to Norm Powell, but similar bets if they get the minutes. Khan's going to look fine. Naz Reid's going to shoot up with the Randall news. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good synopsis for people there. The one sneaky Q tag on the slate is Jrue Holiday, because he's been, working his way back to minutes here. The auxiliary Portland stuff is going to look better if him, Grant, and Time Lord kind of get ruled out here. Like some minutes can open up in a game that we already like. So I was just kind of looking at these sneaky Q tags here as opening something up for Portland that people get excited about.
Yeah, it just makes all the Portland guys that we are currently taking all the better.
Yes, exactly. All right, I think we did it justice there. Now baseball with like 9 L's and whatever. In honor of Juice McCaffrey and in honor of the 10 memberships, he asked me to do an exercise. We'll do a macro overview of what we think structure and playoffs and that sort of thing. But we already did do one on stacking dingers. It's located somewhere down here, tagged in our portfolio as a featured on video. If you guys want to go back, that was kind of like the lay of the land, the new advance rate structure, the whatever. I'll walk it through really quickly. But in honor of Juice McCaffrey and the memberships he dropped off, I did a little exercise this morning, Nez. I got a precursor to this as this is not the scroll the F down list. You do not have to scroll this far. But he asked me to go outside any players that had an ADP and to assemble a list of players who are fringe draftable. I think this speaks more to the depth of the baseball player pool than it does to anything else. But I assembled a list by scrolling all the way past anyone with an ADP. These are players without an ADP, and I'm going to put it on the screen for the people here. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was a fun exercise. It was fun to spend time on it. I will walk through a couple of them in rapid fire succession here. But man, there are some good baseball names that are down here that could score some fantasy points this year. And we will be drafting them in the daily streets. And it just speaks to how far you can truly scroll in baseball. Are you ready for this, Nez? Are there any comments? Are there any concerns?
Lots of concerns, but go ahead.
Okay, JT Realmuto, really good baseball player in the middle of that lineup. Sure, he's a catcher, but he's still going to get like 550 plate appearances, just signed a big contract. Sosa is a guy that we're going to attack in the dailies. He scored 900 fantasy points last night. They're going to find ABs for him, even with Kyle Teal there. Logan O'Hoppe, we were drafting this guy in the mid 200s last year. He's got 25 homer pop. Parker Meadows was an absolute stud when he came back from injury and was leading off last year. Good lineup. Davis Schneider, same thing, leading off. Wenzel Perez, switch hitting guy in the middle of the order that they need at bats from outfielders. Wenzel Perez, draftable. Jan Moncada just re-signed for the Angels. He's going to play third base every single day, and he's a switch hitter. No risk of losing his lineup spot. Joey Ortiz, the prize possession to fill the shortstop void of once Willy Adames was gone there. He has 2020 potential. He just did not come to fruition there. If he taps back into the numbers of 2024 and plays every single day for a bad Brewers team, it could be amazing. Sorry, I should not call them bad. They made the playoffs last year, but they did just trade away
97 games.
They could be slightly worse, watered down. Dude, Tristan Cassis, we were taking this guy in the 5th round. Sure, he's hurt. Sure, they filled first base, but there's a non-zero chance that he comes back. They're going to take their time with his timeline. But like just from a name value standpoint, like Tristan Cassis and his natural ability, he could still get traded. He could be a prize acquisition once he gets healthy. So there's that. Yoshida has all the incentive and all the money in the world, and they haven't really signed anybody else, and they've opened up ABs with Bregman gone and stuff like that. Put him in the DH spot and see what happens. Nathan Lucas, this team went to the World Series using this guy as a leadoff hitter, and they still haven't. I mean, they signed a super utility guy, and but now that Bellinger's off the market and stuff like that, you know, you're shoring up a little bit of playing time for Nathan Lucas or Davis Schneider. Maybe they platoon the same spot, but who knows? Zach Veen, we just can't quit, man. We just can't quit. Ryan Mountcastle, longtime favorite. What about the other Max Muncy? What if he plays third base every single day for that team? Why can't he be this year's Soderstrom? Why not, Nez? Christopher Morel, can't stop, won't stop, can't quit. Awful park for him. Colby Thomas, what if he just rips center field? We're just giving center field to what was the guy's name? Denzel Clark. Neither of them are getting drafted, but like, come on, what if Colby's the guy there? Everybody was taking Gerard Encarnacion last year. They thought he was going to play every single day. Now nobody wants him. James Outman scored 1,100 fantasy points, 1,200 fantasy points a couple seasons ago. What if he just wins a job in Minnesota? Speaking of winning jobs in Minnesota, what about Eric Wegeman, who hit a whole bunch of home runs last year? What about the pedigree of Cody Clemens playing first base every single day there? Jake Fraley can do his thing when guys when Tampa Bay likes guys who have pedigree. Why not Jake Fraley? Christian Campbell, you guys were cumming your pants. I will say it. You guys were cumming your pants to draft Christian Campbell at pick 160 last year alongside Roman Anthony and thought you were so fucking sharp. Why don't you just go ahead and take him again here? Tyler Fitzgerald, man, he won everybody all the money in daily slates for like 3 weeks 2 years ago. What if he just gets regular ABs as a super util guy? Christian Encarnacion Strand in a good home run hitting park. What if he just wins first base again and stays healthy? Esteury Ruiz, Nez wanted you to draft him in the 5th round 3 years ago for his 80 steal upside. He's got a path to playing time in Miami and was the prize acquisition of the Jesus Luzardo trade. Why not? Nolan Jones, can't stop, won't quit. They traded for him back. They obviously see something. There's a wind tunnel out to right field for left-handed hitters in that ballpark. Nolan Jones, what if he's a sneaky 20 home run guy here? Heston Kierstead was bad last year, but he was actually like medically sick. I might have to take him off the list there, but he was just a fun name down there. And then our guy Brad added Braden Montgomery to this list here. I don't know much about him other than he was a first rounder and he was part of the Garrett Crochet trade. There is your disgusting, way too far a scroll super list. That is what 10 subs get you, and 10 more for good measure. Thank you so much, Jewish McCaffrey. There's your 20 sub list.
If you need John to do that again, we need 100. We need 100 subs. It's just that is wild. Great job. I'm super impressed by that. Thank you for that.
Hey, what about post-hype Brady House playing third base every day? Why not? I love it. All right, Nez, let's have the macro conversation about structure and that sort of stuff. Just to reset, are you still in the camp of staying between 6 and 8 at every position?
Yeah. I think 6 and 8, 6 through 8, is still the move. Okay. I don't think you. Like, very rarely would you exceed 8. I don't think it can't work. It's just something that, that good players aren't doing. So you can use that as leverage, or you can just use that as information to say, okay, maybe never draft 9 of a position. Okay. But 6 through 8 seems to be the sweet spot, position, draft capital allocated appropriately in that regard.
Okay, sounds good to me. I will bring up some charts from our guy Billy Jones in a half second. Shout out to Stacking Dingers that support some of that stuff. Jasta, I have not lost my fastball. Christopher Morel was absolutely on that list, my friend. Yes, it's going to the master class. Yeah, I got one kind of like skate to where the puck is going question for you.
Okay.
As we get closer to first pitch and we get more known information, do your structural dynamics change at all? So by that, I mean, most likely talking about the pitcher position, that it's better to draft 8 right now. But as we get closer to lock or closer to first pitch, you're comfortable, with some more hyper fragile, like 6 builds when we know, the health and the rotation spots are solidified. Any thoughts on that?
I think that makes a lot of sense. Ultimately, pitching, gets very thin very fast, and yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea to just like say, you know what, it's just money, and I'll run fragile, and I'll put more quantity into bats where you start more bats and they score more points than the pitching position, and just try to run good at pitching. Like, I think that makes sense in theory. In practice, man, like pitching just is so random in terms of to start weeks. It's so random in terms of injuries that I no longer really feel comfortable doing these 6 pitcher builds any longer. Like,
Sure.
I did it for 2 years. I thought I was God, and just, what, I can make it work. I know who's a good pitcher. Like, I know where I'm getting value from, and it just it didn't pan out. So
Okay.
I'm going to respect the variance of the pitching position, and maybe even draft 8 sometimes, but 7 is going to be my sweet spot for sure.
Okay, sounds good. 2 macro conversations that people love to have. Is there value in stacking pitching? Let's just focus on pitching right now. Is there value in stacking pitching to encompass some of those 2 start weeks? And is there any merit in like profile archetypes of building out pitching staffs to be like all upside arms or all floor based arms and all inning stability, or all Xing out some of those fragile archetypes of like the glass nows and stuff like that? So I guess 2 separate questions, but they're both pitching related. Maybe hit on like are you always building balanced in parentheses pitching staffs?
Yeah, I would maybe call it like hybrid, I suppose. But like, if I'm doing it the best way, or the way that I deem optimal, it's definitely a hybrid approach for sure. Where like, I don't think you can build the plane out of all safe floor arms. Like, I don't think that's going to work in the playoffs. May not even work in the regular season. And I don't think you want to do it in the opposite direction, where you're building straight upside, because you could deal with guys that are no longer in rotations for one reason or another, injury, demotion, bullpen, what have you. Or it works out, you bring a team like that to the playoffs, and these guys inevitably blow up and don't get you quality starts, and they are not giving you the scores that you need. A lot of things can go wrong with that. So I think a hybrid approach is definitely the way to go, and just like not fearing like these old guys like we maybe were taught to in other sports.
Okay. Yeah, like I am kind of like veto accumulators at the bats position, and then but at the pitching position I'm like pro innings eaters, if that makes sense, which is kind of a weird dichotomy, but it's like I just see isolated ceiling in pitching more so, and it's harder to separate than at the hitting position. So it lends me to taking that approach. Do you think that's flawed, or do you think that's like a correct mindset that you should be kind of leaning into those archetypes a little bit more on the pitching side than the bat side?
I think it's all cost relative. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't take an like we were like Luis Ariz, had like 120 ADP last year
Mhm.
or something. Like that was like one of the worst picks ever.
Sure.
Like that was just like not it. But I was taking Jacob Wilson at like 10% drafted, and
Mhm.
not only was he 10% drafted, but obviously he's a free pick. And that is a good accumulator because he accumulated and he was in a really good offense. So like that was good. I don't think accumulators are bad by nature. I think they're bad if you're paying up for them.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's a really good stance. Yeah, I've been like a little too dismissive over the years, and it like kind of bit me in the ass in the finals of one of the years too, with like Stephen Kwan going nuke and like stuff like that. Because these guys can still hit ceiling. It's just
They
they
can.
don't do it in big sexy ways, right? Like if
Right.
we go back,
Yeah.
I mean, it's too bad that the the Sweating Dinger site isn't up right now because you could go back and look at like isolated weeks. But like there are weeks where like these accumulator archetype guys like outscore like big time power guys. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens.
Yeah.
It does happen. It's just like the sexy guys need fewer swings to get it done.
Okay. One more pitching question before we talk about some structural stuff and some targets and like that sort of thing. Are you a little more apprehensive to pump the brakes on like rookie pitching or innings cap pitching or like guys who aren't in rotation spots who are looking for the call up? Like, not to open up sore wounds, but like the Bubba Chandler of last year, like
Yeah.
just being a fucking zero. Like, even though these guys are like really good, like nobody took really like Jacob Muzrowski last year, right? And then he winds up being electric and making the All-Star game. Like, we'll have our fights about whether he should have or not, right? But we go down that rabbit hole of like, yeah, he mattered, but like even when he was that good and that electric, he didn't matter at all for the Dinger contest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, these rookies are for sure like mega fragile. They're super fun, but like very, very fragile in terms of, innings limits and things like that. Are they're probably less likely to get you 2-star weeks because they're more likely to not uh, be given that long of a leash for
Yeah.
2-star weeks as far as pitching goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys obviously hold like super fragile range of outcomes. So like I think, like I said before, it's all cost relative, but if we're jamming a rookie in like the 10th round or something that has like, super like super live issues for playing time in terms of like games played, I think it's probably fair to not waive that player. But like,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
last year I'm definitely gun shy because last year just left a horrible taste in my mouth.
Sure, yeah, but it's also like something that's like distinctly unique to baseball relative to like football. Like those are the
Yeah,
epitome of archetypes that you would love to chase in football, but in baseball it's like way more fragile. Like we don't even have to use last year. We could go back like 2 years before that when we were looking at a bad Reds team and be like, "Hey man, we know Nick Lodolo and Hunter Green could be like elite arms in this league, but it's like are they going to be capped at 80 innings when they're not like, a contending team and this and that, and like those teams wound up dead. Despite now we look up and Hunter Green's a top 15, top 20 pitcher in all of baseball, and on a night to night basis he's like top 5 on a daily slate kind of thing.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Last question on pitching, Nez. The aces are more expensive right now than they were last year, and that's basically because we've had 3 like extreme outliers in terms of the Skubal, Skeens, and Crochet, both in terms of health over the last 2 years and in K rates / results over the last 2 and a bit years here. So are you willing to pay up for the ace stuff this year and then kind of like play it after, or are you going to kind of just soft fade this tier?
Yeah, the true ace tier of the top 3, that's going to be pretty tough for me to get overweight.
Sure.
That's going to be really hard for me. But
Okay.
as soon as you get to the 50s and Hunter Brown is on the board, like yeah, I'll start pulling the trigger around here. But like yeah, I'm definitely going to be price conscious when it comes to these pitchers, and probably going to be super underweight. All three.
Yeah, that's my natural inclination too. It's just like they just don't separate at the same capacity in which like the bats can separate, right?
No, they've
Yeah.
got they carry a lot of risk.
Mhm.
It's just these guys historically have not had good advance rates.
Mm. Yeah, good shouts. Let's talk about that. That's a perfect segue to some of Billy Jones's data. Shout out Stacking Dingers yet again there. The reason we talk about the full draft structure and stuff like that is, and advance rate, win hearse up. We talk about advance rate in football. Advance rate isn't the be all end all of success in these games. Yeah, we've had the advance rate conversation, but if you just stay tethered to these 7.76s and these 7.67s, you guys can see, look at those advance rates comparative to every other structure year over year. And they keep increasing that 7.76. Like we might have really found something here, or it might be variance. But if you look at the years in which these structures are plus EV, the reason we talk about, capping at 8 at a position and no fewer than 6 is look at the advance rate or look at the advance rate EV in these structures. So, like the most profitable for all 4 years has been the 7.76. And then the 3 years that have shown profitability in the 6.77, the 6.86, and then the 7.67 there. So, I think this is a really cool chart. Yeah, that's kind of, all I kind of got to say on that one. But then dovetailing off our previous conversation there, Nez, with the advance rates relative to the aces, these are grouped by pitcher count through X amount of rounds, right? And you guys can go watch Stacking Dingers. They did some in-depth stuff on this one. But this zero pitcher through the first 6 round, EV, it's been plus EV for, 3 years, 4 years to just go ahead and, grab a little bit of infield, outfield balance and then start adding your pitching to it. The first 6 rounds where you have kind of like one pitcher looks really, really good. So you like get a front end, ace to the staff, and then you get some outfielders, infielders balance. The advance rates have been beautiful. All these teams with 3 pitchers, 2 pitchers in the upper echelon, they do not fare or haven't fared as well. Any hope or leave the light on that this could change in the future, Nez, or do you think this is sticky?
I think like there's some obvious variance in terms of like how these guys perform in terms of these frontline starters. Like you look at the 2025 column for advance rate, and you look at 204 and 213. I mean, these frontline aces like crush. Like Taeks was like had one of the best seasons ever last year. So like a lot of those 204s or 213s probably included Skubal. So you're doing the right things of like attacking outfield early, which is like what we've been saying forever. And you have Skubal, like, yeah, those advance rates crushed because the stars really aligned. And same goes with the 105 and 114. A lot of those guys I think were probably Skubal teams. And maybe I'm forgetting another guy in the first 6 rounds that really, really crushed, but that's my inclination. So like, if those guys are having crazy years, then yeah, they're good picks, But sure. Like, ultimately, though, that you really, you see the advance rates for 23 and 24 in the zero pitcher column. Yeah, there's a lot of red in that quadrant, So like, all in all, punting pitcher, it is a good rule of thumb. If you are somebody that is like, you really don't know where to start, well, you can absolutely start by not drafting any pitchers in the first 6 rounds. Other than last year, it's been pretty decent, but that could also signal an overcorrection.
Sure. Yeah, it definitely could. Yeah, it's a weird landscape because in years previous, like we were dealing with like pitcher in like the 3rd round and it being like, or no, sorry, 2 years ago, we were dealing with like Garrett Cole and like Corbin Burns on like the 112 side. And you see like the NFBC guys come in here and they go like full fucking pocket aces, baby. It's never available. Yeah. And they just started doing that shit. And it was like bad. Both of them got hurt. Both of them didn't pan out, whatever. And then you see last year that like, hey man, if you were able to get like the suppressed price of like 3rd round Skubal or 3rd round Skeens or something like that, as we all come in here and go, hey, you got to piss yellow to start kind of thing. yeah, it can kind of work for you as long as you're not doing kind of like 3 of them in your first 6 picks. But even that showed decent profitability last year in terms of advance rate.
Yep. Yeah. So ultimately, yeah, I think I paid pretty close attention to what worked last year because I think it definitely like yeah, it probably signals strong ace performances, but also I think it does kind of signal a bit of an overcorrection where you're getting those starters in the first 6 rounds cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Like in 22 and 23, we had pitchers going in the first round.
Right.
That
Yeah.
doesn't happen. That doesn't happen now.
Yeah, so maybe there is some push pull with like the price tags becoming more palatable that you can still do like a 204 here, but your first 4 picks are actually outfielders.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just nuked on like those mid-tier starters there that turned out to be I'm kind of just like blanking on names, or else I'd throw some names on it. But yeah. Last chart here, guys. You guys could screen grab this. This one's grouped by the outfield count there, and then just doing it through the first 10 rounds. And you guys could see the macro trends of like, the 3-3-4 has been good for like all 4 years, but then the outlier stuff of like 3-1-6 was really good last year. I imagine a lot of those one infield teams, though, through 10 just wound up having Cal Raleigh on them because they were chasing of one infield teams were chasing infield later. So it led them to like pushing up that tier that everybody else was looking for pitching in outfield. And they just wound up with like a lot of Cal Raleigh. And that was like one of the biggest outliers we've seen in fantasy baseball since Corbin Burns, since Julio Rodriguez kind of thing. But yeah, anything else to say structurally there, Nez?
No, not there, but yeah, Cal Raleigh was the absolute skeleton key, and I did not have hardly any Cal Raleigh. Big regret. I'm gonna throw Billy's Twitter in the comments and Stacking Dingers as well. If you guys are for some reason not following those guys, and Sheep as well, of course. If you guys aren't following these guys for some reason, make sure you are, because they are leading the charge in a big way in terms of data for the Dinger.
Love it. Yeah, good takeaway. So minimum 4 outfielder through 10 rounds, more or less. Like that's been plus EV every single year, with the exception of jamming just infield alongside it. Yeah, more or less. That looks pretty good takeaway right there. I like this player take too, because I was feeling pretty strong on this one too. That Gunnar Henderson is the HN of this game. I like that, man. Like, I don't want to get too spicy, but like, why take Bobby Witt at 4 when you can take Gunnar Henderson at 20? Like,
I know, man. I like Gunnar.
Yeah. This is actually a good shout too. Awen just talking about the dynamics of like pitcher having a season ending injury versus hitters having season ending injuries. Like, they're pretty far and few between on the hitting side. Like, guys will get hurt and they'll do an oblique, or they'll get banged up playing defense or whatever, and they'll miss like multiple weeks, or they'll miss a month and stuff. But it is pretty rare comparatively. Like, a lot of pitcher injuries are just like season's done. Even if their season isn't immediately done with like TJ, it's like their season's done for 3 months, and then they need another month of ramp up to even get to be usable in terms of pitching. So that's the other angle to it, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a plethora of things that can go wrong with pitching, and yeah, it's like it's never good. It's really never good. So yeah, I mean, it's part of the game.
Fun question on the player take. Who's the Matthew Golden of this contest? Wow, that's a fun one. We'll jump back and look in a second here. Nez will think of one for you as I show you guys one last resource here. Brought it up on stream a couple times here. This is the playoff schedule. This is the week 17 for us. I'll drop that in the chat. That's free for everybody to look at. I was going to update a little bit with some color coding and whatever, so you guys could see like the plus ballparks and like the good matchups and stuff. But juxtapose this to like, what pitching staffs you think will be good and that sort of deal. And you can kind of find out, who are some teams that I want to stack that are because of matchup, who are teams I want to stack because of season long stuff, yada, yada. Yeah. Um, One macro, Nez, do you have a comp for me yet or no?
I'm not like I don't have a comp just yet. The first thing that
Okay.
came to mind was Dalen Lyle, just because I'm like,
Oh yeah, sure.
who the fuck is this guy? And like,
Yeah.
and we're just,
I
I mean,
mean,
he's not quite expensive enough to be Matthew Golden, but
yeah.
I've even taken Dalen Lyle once or twice.
Yeah, he's a Nationals guy. There he is. Yeah, just all the way up at 152 because of a good month at the end of the year there, and like some prospect pedigrees, getting like the Dylan Cruz treatment of last year, this year kind of vibe.
Yeah, the chat wants me to say Connor Griffin, but it's not. It's simply not Connor Griffin.
It's not in the cards to say Connor Griffin.
It's not Connor Griffin.
Okay. All right.
Matthew Golden was never once considered the best prospect in X years ever.
That's true.
Never
That's
once has that
That's
been have those words been said about Matthew Golden.
It's true. It's true. All right. Last thing that people want us to hit on before we do, some drafts. We could talk about isolated player takes and scrolls and all that stuff while we're drafting here, Nez. The last thing people want us to hit on is stacking, and just like it's counterintuitive to you and I coming from the daily streets that like, hey, stacking good? Question mark, like thumbs up. And the things that I will say about stacking is the net benefits of stacking over the entirety of the season also mirror that as the benefits in an isolated window of scoring. And by that, I mean when your team go burr, everyone kind of go burr together, right? And that's positive for your overall scoring output. It does introduce more variance to your lineups the more you stack, because you're putting all your eggs in one isolated bucket than the other, right? So these are things we understand.
Yeah.
As a vacuum, like blanket rule of thumb, there is diminishing returns at some point in time, but those diminishing returns come when you stack like 5 or 6 hitters from the same team. There's not diminishing returns when you have like 8 stacked hitters in your lineup, but no more than 3 or something like that, because the benefits of stacking go beyond, hey, player 1 drives in player 2 because player 1 hits 3 and player 2 hits 5 or whatever, like that is one benefit to stacking. The other benefits are, you beat up on a bullpen for a week and now you get, a worse starter. You are playing in the same ballpark for 4 straight games. That is a positive hitting environment. Like the net benefits of stacking compound for ultimate ceiling. Thoughts on kind of just macro rules of thumb for people drafting and stacking?
I mean, you kind of nailed it, man. Like the biggest thing is that like if you're not sure like why to stack, it just like it makes more sense in baseball than it does like almost like in any other sport, because you can do it easier and tell yourself a story. Like you can stack literally any part of the lineup and like the correlation makes sense and it passes down its benefits. Baseball is the only sport that can go on forever theoretically. And if you are doing well and you're extending the game, you're giving your other teammates more at bats. They have more opportunities to score points. Not only that, but if you have players that are on base and you have the player that's at bat and on base and they hit an RBI and you get a run, like obviously all those points stack. That is the traditional form of stacking, but there are just greater benefits to it in baseball and how it works. There are diminishing returns, of course. You don't want to just stack 1 through 9, but stacking, we can say with confidence that stacking is good. They stack in DFS. Like it is like you cannot play MLB DFS without stacking unredacted. And we are dealing with these larger type of rosters in best ball. You don't have to stack, but like, God damn it, it makes sense.
I love it. Yes, well articulated there, Nez. I think that was very, very strong. The one thing I will add that I hear nobody talking about that I will bring up is cross-positional stacking. You can only start 3 outfielders. You can only start 3 infielders. And then there is one flex component to that. That flex traditionally winds up being an infielder because they're higher scoring and draft capital and yada, yada. When you are building out your stacks, your 2-mans and your 3-1s, there is net benefit to crossing over in positions. So 2 and 1, 2 and 1 the other way, 1 and 1, like stuff like that, because you don't want to be like, okay, hey, I'm stacking like 3 Yankees. They're all outfielders. Like I have Judge, Jason Dominguez, and Cody Bellinger. And it's like, well, that's great. Like now all your outfield spots are filled by that. Why are you spending any other draft capital on outfield if that's going to be your plan? Right. So talking about like just, it's a fine strategy to execute, but it's something to think through in your builds of like, how is my lineup hitting ceiling? Well, if I'm building out a Yankee stack and Aaron Judge is there, there's no reason to think that Aaron Judge is not going to be your highest scoring outfielder in that instance, right? So you probably want to cross stack at least one infielder with that to bring them along, kind of thing.
Yeah, I pretty much fully agree with everything you just said.
Cool.
Yeah, the draft capital stuff makes sense.
All right, we will talk through some of our favorite targets and all that stuff as we hop in a draft here. Questions in the chat, great, welcomed, whatever. We'll talk through it as we go. Yes, Numi, thank you for appreciating the laundry. It is full-fledged laundry week here. We're going Hall of Famers to start. Walter Jones yesterday, Steve Largent today. Let's jump in a dinger. When dinger, now dinger.
Would it kill you to throw in like a Sean Alexander jersey? I mean,
no. It wouldn't kill me, but it might.
Come on, do something. I don't know who that is.
You don't know Steve Largent?
I don't know Steve Largent, bro.
Top 5 white receiver of all time, maybe?
Don't make me go down the list.
Yeah, I'd be pretty curious. Steve Largent was like the dude who put up receiving yards when nobody put up receiving yards, kind of. Like he's like 70 years old now or something like that. Like he's got to be like, yeah.
Yeah, what the hell was he doing putting up these numbers? What the hell?
Right. Like this was an era where like receivers like didn't score points and like him and Zorn were just slinging it all around the yard,
Yeah, he had 79 receptions for 1287 in 85 for 6 tutties.
Yeah. So good.
Salute to the guy Largent, man. I was not familiar with your game. I apologize.
Wow, not to get political, also a congressman. Wow, unbelievable. There you go. I didn't know that. There's our guy, champ from last night. Gave you some love off the top. Magikarp, roll the tape back there. Congratulations, my friend. Welcome back to the Dog Bowl. Well earned. Love to see it. Yeah, we got to get Numi on here to talk a little ball. If anything, not to just to scream Royce Lewis is free in the last round.
I'm not going to be shamed for, I'm not a trivia guy. I'm not, I'm not going to say that he wasn't good. Obviously this dude was the man. Like I'm not going to be shamed for not knowing Steve Largent. I apologize. You can, I'm not going to stop you, but I refuse to feel shame.
No, nobody's going to shame you here. All right, Nez, we got friends and family in this draft here. We got Kyle Tucker at 7. Is Kyle Tucker's new price? Is this the spot for Kyle Tucker now?
I mean, I take Kyle Tucker at 5.
Okay. So we're team Kyle Tucker with his $1 million salary and 93 whatever deferred. I think it was actually 63 deferred.
I don't know why people are like scared to overreact to the Kyle Tucker signing. Mm-hmm. I would take him over Acuna.
Okay. I mean, Acuna has his own problems with the knees, and is he going to run more or is he going to run at all anymore? That sort of deal. The Tucker one is just people are fearful that he hasn't been the same dude since the bone bruise, effectively. But he's going to one of the best home run hitting environments. Well, there's a little bit of noise in that sample, but a really good home run hitting environment from last year.
I mean, if this guy is healthy, it's like, like what exactly are we talking about? If this guy is healthy, like it's just it's absolutely nuts. Like what he is set up to do in this offense. I mean, I think that you're not a crazy person to think about him over Juan Soto. Like I don't even think that is like crazy. Like I'm not doing that.
Sure.
I think there's even a case for that for fantasy baseball. Like the setup that Kyle Tucker has is absolutely insane. And he's very good.
Oh. I love this.
Is he talking about Munataka? Is he talking about his own guy or what?
Nez, we're up here. Brent Rooker comes back to us if we want it. I'm a proponent of just stacking athletics in that ballpark. I also really like Gunnar Henderson. I'm good with either.
Gunnar, Kurtz, or Rooker? Take your pick.
Let's do the Gunnar thing.
Okay.
I'm a proponent of Gunnar, dude. Like, we're talking about a dude who was a first round pick and like didn't even have like that bad a year last year. They've also improved that lineup. You can sometimes get Alonso to come back to us. Yeah, Rooker's a little bit older. He's got some big swing and miss, but he's also got 40 to 50 home run pop in that ballpark. I think this might be a crazy take. I don't think it's a crazy take. I think the ultimate ceiling of Gunnar is higher than Brent Rooker, but Brent Rooker gets propped up by the positional eligibility.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Josa's I don't mean to pick on Josa, but Murakami, the dude that just signed with the White Sox, he is absolutely Matthew Golden. 100% this is our Matthew Golden. Have you seen the projections on Murakami?
Dude, I'm a dunce cap, and I saw his interview that said power, and I was fucking in. That's it, dude. That's all I need to see. I don't need any launch angle data on him. I don't need exit velocity. I don't need swing speed. All I saw was power, and I was like, I'm fucking in on this guy. I'm in, dude.
Oh my god. Oh shit. John, he might strike out like 40% of the time.
He's the Crush Davis of my generation, dude. This is Chris Davis vibes all over it.
Yeah, like this you want to talk about like high upside, bottomless floor. Like it's that's the golden comp. That is Munataka.
Okay. I like it. Power. We are up on the clock here. Roman Anthony goes in front of us. Langford goes. Jarren Duran, this is kind of like a nice spot for him. He's a little bit of a faller. I do think he's a tier above these other outfielders, but if you want to stack up Freddie Freeman, I wouldn't say no.
I kind of like Freddie. I also like Soderstrom. I touched the stove on Jarren Duran, and now I am like terrified. I think this guy might get traded.
Okay.
Yeah, I was. I'm a little spooked by Duran.
Let me walk you through Jarren Duran as the guy who's always been right on him. When I proclaimed him as a great bounce back breakout late star or whatever, when his ADP was suppressed when he was playing center field for Team Mexico in the World Baseball Classic, that was when you buy in. He has big Miles Turner vibes here, dude. You buy in when his price is low, when he hit ceiling last year and he's going at like the 1-2 turn because of position eligibility. You exit out of your portfolio. And now that his price is coming down ever so slightly, I would have been keen to take him in the third round, but because he could still, I think he could still do like 15, 20, and like 90 runs scored or something from the leadoff spot for Boston. You know what I mean? But
15 and 20, I think, is like extremely doable.
Yeah. And I think that's fine with outfield eligibility from the third round.
Yeah.
Like Freddie's days of hitting 30 or 35 are behind him.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like his power is definitely like on the decline. I'm just like, I'm really worried that Duran gets traded. And they were talking about trading him last year, talking about trading him this offseason. They haven't done it. But if he leaves like that ballpark, like he's just not somebody I want to play outside of Fenway.
Sure.
And,
okay.
Him leaving Fenway, I think would just be a really, really big deal because like he gets so many cheap extra base hits in Fenway. And then on top of that, great offensive environment to get runs scored. So if he ever left there, I would be extremely worried.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he could go. I'm trying to think of better places he could go, but the only thing that would be better would be lineup construction, right? Travioli goes with Soderstrom there, almost made it back to us. I would stack Mookie here. That's kind of what I would do, but then we're pretty far behind. at outfield in a stream draft room. But yeah, I'd hear you out. What do you like?
I think Mookie's fine. I think if you're worried about it, though, you could go Teoscar. Like, I don't think there's a big difference between Teoscar and those guys.
Yeah, the one pushback I would have is like Teo's playing time could get a little muddied this year comparative to previously. Like his lineup spot's obviously going to dip. He can't play center field. He's not a good outfielder, and there's no DH spot with Shohei. Kyle Tucker takes right field away now. Can he lose time in a platoon situation? Maybe, like Alex Call's a righty, but like, I don't know, could Conforto take at bats away for the platoon side because of defense? Could Tommy Edmonds play some outfield again? I'm a little scared of the Teo stuff. I'm not going to lie now that Kyle Tucker's there.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I just see big power guy on the Dodgers. And like, all right, let's just jam it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was going to comment about Springer's ADP. How much George Springer do you anticipate drafting this year?
Absolutely zero. Like, yeah, it's just, I know he was second in WRC plus ahead of all other hitters other than Aaron Judge. I mean, like, the dude's my age. He had a huge outlier season. It was a beautiful run for them in the postseason and that sort of thing. But no, thank you.
Yeah, I think the easy answer is like zero.
Yeah.
But like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, I don't know. Fountain of youth, baby. Fountain of youth. Big resurgence.
I mean,
I bet you someone smart could tell us, like, oh, no, he was rededicated to his craft and wanted to earn his money and went to Driveline all off season and blah, blah, blah. I bet you someone could tell us that story. But an aging dude who just went to the World Series, who had back-to-back, 7-game series in the World Series and in the divisional round, like, or conference, whatever they call it. Yeah, I just, I don't know, man. I'm a vibes guy, and the vibes don't feel great there.
I just like, how do you just like come out of nowhere and put up a career high in slug? Like, I just don't, right. I don't know what happened. And you're a year older now.
Yeah.
Jeez, dude.
Out the silent trash can. Oh, good, clean fun. Oh man, yeah. Reviews the success of all builds, and then starts 0-3-1. Damn right, baby. That's how we roll out here. Do as we say, do as we preach, not as we do. Right?
these slappies make me sick.
O'Neal Cruz goes there. Most plate appearance in the history of baseball. Hitting under 200. Made that up.
Yeah, you did.
Byron Buxton goes there. We're back up on the clock here. Trey Turner, from a name value standpoint, stands out. Hunter Brown as like an ace feels good.
I do a lot of Hunter Brown, but we are behind at outfield.
Michael Nelson, is it time?
I would go Butler, but yeah, you can take Trout.
All right. Michael Nelson Trout, come on down. What if Michael Nelson Trout just has one last 1,400 point season in his bag there? Well, man, Lawrence Butler might just be a platoon guy against lefties now. And I know they gave him money, but like, it wasn't like earth-shattering money. It was good money for the Athletics. And then he has a really bad year last year. Like, he hits the ball hard and he runs fast, but like, I don't know, man. I thought it was a bad pick last year and it was overrated. The price tag's more palatable this year, but I'm giving Michael Nelson one last kick of the can.
Yeah, I get it, but like, he still put up like a 2020 season at the end of the day, and has some of the craziest spikes you could really want.
Yep.
From a position, and still plays in Sacramento. So I get it. He's definitely not like a great projection pick, but yeah, take Michael Trout.
We got, Butler was hurt last year. That's a good point too. Oatmeal goes there. We got a trade here, Nez. I think I would start our staff here, and I would take one of Wu or Gilbert.
I'm a Gilbert guy, but do you like Wu? Wu was like unbelievable last year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with both of them. Like any Mariners pitcher, I'm usually like pretty good with just because of the environment. I mean, Brian Wu was an all-star last year and had what was that streak? Like 19 straight starts of 6 innings. Like his ceiling is really high. I think Wu could absolutely blow this ADP out of the water this year. But yeah, I'm good with either of them. I'd say Gilbert's like the more solid of the two.
Yeah, I think so. He was hurt last year, so we're kind of getting a discount.
Yeah. We got a big trade here, dude.
Wow.
A pitcher that we liked last year, Mackenzie Gore,
What
going
the hell?
to the Rangers, staying on brand for the Rangers with the all white starting lineup here, but going and finding some starting pitching to go alongside. Yeah, I like to see this, dude.
Yeah, I mean, Globe Life kind of quietly like one of the best pitching parks in baseball.
Yeah, super under talked about other than us last year.
This is a really big deal.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. I'm really excited about this.
Rangers staff will probably be like what? DeGrom, Evaldi, Gore, those 3, and then just can we see what happens with Rooker and Leiter again kind of deal?
Yeah, they're gonna probably kick the can on those guys. And see what happens. They needed a guy because you can't like they really don't have a lot of options there. Their 5th starter before this trade was Jacob Latz. Stop me if you've heard him before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Remember him?
No. No, he wasn't good. So yeah, it's still like Leiter and Rocker as their 4 and 5, which it's not great.
As we're prone to see in these environments, it's time, dude. As we're prone to see in these environments, Nez, the outfield spots drying up. I imagine Luis Robert Jr. is going to be a riser in due time here.
I think so. Yeah, he should be our pick. I'm still like he's a great pick for our team. Do you think all of a sudden he's just gonna like play well because he's on a good team?
I think as a dude who's watched a lot of them in my life, he's an effort level guy. Where it's like he just swings at everything when nobody's watching kind of deal. Empty stands, empty whatever. Like he just swings at everything. Like his chase rate was brutal. He never walks. Yeah. I don't know, man. This is a little bit bro science here. Juan Soto went from being a guy who never stole bases and then stole like 30 whatever last year, right? And a lot of that can be attributed to the first base coach there, insider trading here with my knowledge on that one. Luis Robert Jr. was the dude who literally led the big leagues in steals for the first 4 months last year before getting hurt. Like, what if they just let him run wild here? Like, this is kind of like an overpriced Starling Marte bet when Starling was like in his prime kind of vibe. But like, man, if he goes like 20-40 in a good Mets lineup, hitting like 5th or 6th, like I don't know, man. Like he has all the tools in the world. It's just if he gives a fuck is my kind of like estimation on the dude.
Yeah, I don't think that's like a terrible take at all.
Nezzy, we're back up here. Who do you like? We got a 1-3-3 to start.
Ramos, Snell, Kirby. One of those.
Ramos,
not a Marcy
Snell,
guy.
Kirby. All right. Let's do Ramos. Yeah, I really don't like the Miami schedule.
No.
Like in the playoffs there.
I haven't looked at Miami's, to be honest.
Yeah. Ayton comp? It's not bad. Ayton's more of like a, I don't know, maybe Ayton comp's not bad actually. His ceiling's not as high as Melo's, that's for sure.
Yeah, man, the Mets are interesting though, just to like for a
let's talk about
second.
it. Yeah.
I still think that they're gonna stink, but
Oh man.
like
they got 4 second basemen.
is Jorge Polanco gonna like do another career year? Like he had his best year ever last year.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was hitting the Cal Raleigh baseballs. Like, what do we think that he's gonna like all of a
Excuse
sudden?
me, please. Come on.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Uh,
Bo Bichette was hitting the George Springer baseballs.
yeah.
Like,
I'm not a Bo guy. Like I'm just not a. I don't think he's a good defender. I think average is overrated. But it's nice that he's like he's 27. He's the same age as Soto.
he bounced back when he needed to. I didn't realize that he had an 840 OPS last year. Like I wasn't aware that he was that good. I mean, we drafted a lot of Blue Jays and dailies, but like I didn't realize that he was an 840 guy.
Yeah.
Brett Beatty's DHing for them. I mean, I don't know, man. Like Simeon stinks. I
don't think they would hit Brett Beatty. Like I think that's like a hand. Is that what Roster Resource says?
Yeah, they got him hitting like against righties as a DH.
Nah, Mark Vientos will hit versus righties still, I think.
Well, where are you gonna put him?
DH instead of Beatty.
And Beatty just doesn't play ever?
Yeah. Nez, we're back up here, dude. We could take a swing at a fun guy like Jack Caglione, and then there's a tier break, or we could take our second pitcher.
I would Bush or Yandy Diaz is just like these guys are too good to pass up.
Let's go Yandy then. Gives us some stacking outs. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I definitely would have passed on them there and like just assumed one of them.
These guys are underpriced. These guys are like way underpriced.
Yeah, we haven't really had the Rays conversation, but like, I'm a little bit scared of the ballpark again.
Yeah,
I never we liked them a lot last year, and now I'm kind of just like,
Yandy's still that dude. I mean,
yeah,
he just is so underrated. Just so underrated, like year over year. Like maybe the power, takes a bit of a dip going into this year, but I'm just such a Yandy guy. And Bush is in like a great, the Cubs lineup is still really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are just like it feels so bad to pass up on these points when you're on the clock and they're available. Like it feels bad. I mean, I'm not trying to pick on Viper, but like, why do these guys go 2 rounds behind Willy Adames?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Willy Adames still has that like outlier, like 30 home runs in his back pocket,
Yeah, I mean, he did hit 30 last year.
Yeah,
took him 160 games, and he barely slugged 420, but he did hit 30 bombs.
Yeah, he had a bad year, and that ballpark's bad for him. Although it does play a little bit better for righties now, like the last 3 years. But yeah. Nobody liked Wheeler. Matt McClain doesn't feel stable enough for us. Yuri Perez feels good. Savage doesn't feel stable enough. Pablo just as an ace. Wheeler as an ace. I would take one of these like kind of like steady arms here.
Is Wheeler going to be good?
I don't know. He was bad last year. I think probably Gausman has the best chance to be good again out of this group.
All right, let's do Gausman. I don't know. Well, I didn't think that Wheeler was bad last year. He just suffered a season-ending injury of the shoulder. I mean,
sorry, it wasn't Wheeler who was bad last year. Wheeler was really good.
Yeah,
it was Nola who was bad last year. My bad.
Yeah. Nola's absolute dust. But yeah, these guys coming off like we could be looking at like a generational robbery of Zach Wheeler ADP, or it could just be like the worst pick ever because he's just like not right.
Yeah.
That's why his ADP is what it is. But the RotoWire update, this came yesterday, was
Mhm.
that Wheeler will be behind the other starters at the beginning of spring training, but indicators are that he will not be too far behind. That's from the
Okay.
Athletic.
Okay. That's not
Behind,
bad.
but not too far,
Not too far. That's like Garrett Cole timeline. No, no,
I guess.
similar. Where's Garrett Cole go? He hasn't gone yet. Man, let's talk about some of these price tags in here. Like, man, if you can get Hunter Green like 20 picks, yeah, man, I like this Hunter Green price tag. I like this Kirby price tag. Now looking through some of the purple right now.
Man, people love Yuri Perez.
I love him too. I am scared of a dude who's been oft injured and plays on a non-competitive team despite it being a really good place to pitch. That he gets the shutdown if he gets a fingernail at the end of the year when it matters.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason to push this dude, right? Like he's still young.
Yeah, he's about to be 23.
Yeah, he's so effing young. Like there's no reason to push him at the tail end of the season if you're not in contention, and we don't anticipate them being in contention.
Right.
Right. So when he could be a really good, regular season guy, but when the chips are down, I don't know. Plus, yeah, he's coming off the surgery from last year. Like he's coming off the. Oh no, he's talking about Wheeler. But yeah, Yuri came back mid-season last year off of his own injury there. And then the other thing I would add is the playoff schedule for the Marlins, dude. Even if you get him and he's pitching like amazing and he's lights out, they have to face this is the last 2 weeks for the Marlins. Cubs, Mets, Dodgers. Have fun. Have fun, Yuri. We talked all that shit, and now I kind of want to take him. But who do you like in this range?
I think Yuri.
Yeah, me too. What about Woodruff? You like Woodruff?
I do, but I think Yuri's a better pick.
Okay. Yuri's a decent dude to balance out Gilbert and Gosman too. No Marlins.
Yes. Yeah. I fully agree. Like he meshes with those two picks really well.
Mm-hmm. Jason Dominguez goes there. I saw a funny one in the chat there that Numi dropped. Jason Dominguez is the Jordan Lawler of Kobe Mayos. Like that's pretty fucking funny. That's pretty good.
What the fuck are we? What? No, I'm sorry. Thumbs down. Thumbs down.
That's pretty funny, man.
We're just saying words.
We're just saying names together. Let's see what happens here. We've got a lot of infield capital already spent. This might be a 7 outfielder build, but there is a stacking partner that I would be prone to take here. There he goes. So I'm out on that.
I would not want Simeon.
Yeah, I think it's fine as an accumulator when you have Luis Robert already, but yeah.
He doesn't even accumulate.
That's true. Yeah. Brenton Doyle, Kerry Bonds, Luis Castillo, Glasnow. Who do you like?
I think Bonds or Doyle. Bonds, we're gonna draft 7, so we can probably stomach the playing time concerns with Kerry because we plan on attacking this with 7 outfielders.
Sure. Yep.
Ramos is out there every day. Tucker's out there every day. Catch some spikes from Kerry. Friedel was on the board. What a weird year from him.
Yeah, he was hurt for a bit there with like it was a wrist thing, wasn't it? Like
Are you talking about the other guy from the Reds? Because he played 150 games.
Oh, yeah, maybe I'm thinking of Fraley.
I think you might be.
Yeah.
But Friedel goes high.
Yeah, he does.
he had quietly 1,200 fantasy points last year, but like was not good at baseball last year. Not really.
Sure.
Sort of. Like walked a lot, didn't strike out a lot, but hits for like no power. But he's on the Reds. Like, I don't know. I don't want to besmirch him too much and then have him, shove it. But boy, I do not think that he's a very fun pick.
Why take TJ Friedel when you can take JJ Bleday?
Now we're talking.
Where's JJ's ADP? Nobody's taking JJ Bleday.
Yeah, is he the new Jake Fraley?
He's the new Jake Fraley. Yes, 100% he is.
Do you know what team Fraley's on now?
Rays.
Yeah. I did not realize that. When did that take place? This offseason or was that last year?
Yeah. Ooh, I like these comps here. No, that was this year. This is offseason. I like these comps. I think Frio's a good pick and walks. Okay, cool. That's good. What if he led off most of the year, Wonky Blues. Yes, he did. And he could continue to do so. What if he's just Newt Bar? That's kind of spicy. There's Spencer Steer, former 3rd and 4th round pick, Spencer Steer there.
Wow.
Chuck the Deuce with some absolute ball knowledge here. I did not know. I don't know MLB The Show like this.
No, me neither.
Yeah. Gavin Fiend. I don't know him. I don't know much about this. All I know is that the Mets cooked yesterday by giving up that, what was Jet, whatever his name is. Jet Williams. They cooked, man. You get Freddie Peralta on a 1-year rental or whatever, and then if you re-sign him, it looks good. But you're like going toe-to-toe with the Dodgers this year. You spent all the money at everything else. You get rid of these guys, man. 5'7" prospect with 2 earrings. Get out of here. I'm done with them. Well, this looks like a pretty good place for another pitcher or a ceiling shot outfielder. What do you like, Nez?
I don't know. Do you just take Bubba Chandler?
I like Glasnow more than Chandler. Do you?
No.
Really? All right. Fine.
We have, at what point do we acknowledge that Glasnow can't pitch for a full season?
Yeah, but we got the Dodgers stack going a little bit here, and his ceiling on a start-to-start basis is insane. Like,
he is physically incapable of pitching the way that he has to pitch.
Yeah. I don't know. 500 fantasy points, 800, huge spikes. My thing with Glasnow is when he pitches, he always scores for you. So if you build like a 7-pitcher build, like anytime he touches the rubber, he's going to score for you. And I think that's different than anyone you can say. Like the holes I can poke in Bubba, like Bubba, elite prospect, but like, and it's a good place to pitch, like 100%. But like,
how old? Okay, Connor Griffin goes because of course he does.
Yeah. You want to just take him?
Who, CDL or Glasnow?
Glasnow.
Take Glasnow, but how old do you think Glasnow is?
31.
Okay. I would have guessed like in late 20s. He's 32.
Okay.
He's turning 33 this season.
Mm-hmm.
Is that good when you can't stay healthy and now you're in your 30s?
No, it's not great, Bob. It's not great. 6-man rotation, TK saying, I mean, Dodgers say this every year, 6-man rotation, and then injuries happen and they shut guys down and they put guys on the IL to manage their roster and their money. And then it never turns out actually being a 6-man. So that'd be my pushback. But there's no team in baseball where the quality start / win equity is higher than Dodgers. So
yeah,
like,
I will not debate that at all.
Yeah. So like when Glasnow pitches, and if he happens to roll even one start, yeah. There's your boy Connor Griffin goes at 160. That's the new price tag. Willem Contreras is going to play every single day, no longer a catcher. That feels good. I mean, he wasn't last year either, but that wall was fucking made for him, especially versus lefties.
Yeah, I know.
Seems good. Nez, you filibust for half a second here. I got to run for the leak real quick.
All right. Let's see here. 5-4-5 start here. We got Bubba and Glasnow and Yuri behind our hopeful horses of close to 200 innings of Logan Gilbert and Kevin Gausman. I would personally like to split the baby on fun upside versus innings eaters at pitcher. So that would entail at least one more of these inning eaters guys paired with some upside. At this point in the draft, there is not a ton of upside for pitching. It's mostly just inning eaters, so that'll make our decision pretty easy. Man, Castellanos is still on the board, and I want nothing to do with that. This room's a little too sharp. I would be down for some Sal Frelick, but Castellanos is just like a DND for me.
DND on the guy who makes absolute moments.
It's going to be a good year, man. Can't draft him.
Wow, Manzardo is this year's Raleigh.
Why do everybody got to talk so loud, man?
That is spicy meatballs.
Manzardo's such a good pick. It's pretty comical that Griffin is like shooting up boards and then our guy Manzardo is just chilling.
Okay. I respect it. Got a year big league experience under his belt too. Year and a half.
Yep. It was pretty good in those games that he played.
Mm-hmm. All right. Pretty fragile on the pitching staff after like the two quote unquote like innings eater ace types, right? We're going to need to backfill with some inning eaters. This is definitely a 7-6-7, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Not overly stack happy. We got 3 Dodgers and then kind of like nobody else. So we could start thinking about some stacks here. Zach Gallen still without a team goes there. Addison Barger kind of like jumps out as like my favorite bat in this group.
Yeah, I do like Barger. What do you want to go for some ceiling at outfield, or do you want at bats? Because Giancarlo Stanton is just like, hey, or if you want at bats, you go Laureano. If you want like, hey, this guy's like still one of the best hitters in baseball when he's on the field, it's Stanton.
Yeah, Stanton. Here's my comp. Stanton is the Tyler Glasnow of the outfield position.
Say that one more time.
Stanton is the Tyler Glasnow of the outfield position.
Yeah. That's a layup.
Yeah.
I mean, I was blown away with how good Stanton was last year. Like, wow, is this guy still fucking unbelievable?
Mm-hmm. I think Belly's good for him too. Like it splits ABs a little bit and muddies the waters a little bit for the outfield because you still have Trent Grisham who's going to play and had like a leadoff role last year. You still have Jason Dominguez mixed in, who the Martian,
for now.
Blah. Yeah, for now. Who knows, right? But if you get 100 games of Stanton, like he's hitting your outfield spot 4 weeks, 5 weeks, probably, without even batting an eye.
How many would you be better to guess is games played or plate appearances last year?
Plate appearances.
How many do you think he had last year?
438.
No.
What?
281.
Oh, way less. Wow, I was way off.
But he slugged 600.
Sure, yeah. Addison's still here. Jordan Beck. We can start scrolling. Merrill
I was
Kelly.
gonna say Laureano.
You like Ramon Laureano?
I think Laureano is like every day out there for the Padres, and he was good last year.
Yeah, he had 25 homers or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, let me bro science break down Padres in my mind. Tatis, Morel, Machado, Sheets, Laureano. That's kind of like the 5.
That's top. That's the top half of the lineup.
Xander mixed in somewhere.
Yep.
A catcher spot. I don't even know who their starting catcher is this year.
Fermin or Campusano, I think.
Oh, so Campusano's still there. Freddie. Oh, Freddie, a little bit of right-handed power. He was there for the tail end of last year, right? He was a trade acquisition guy.
Yeah, and then they got Sung Moon Song.
I don't even know who that is.
They just signed them from the KBO.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think Laureano's playing time's going anywhere. It's just like, can he replicate what he did? And he was really good last year.
Sure, yeah. Is there anyone off the bench who can take at bats away?
Bryce Johnson.
No idea. Journeyman guy?
30 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me look at their farm.
Okay.
Catcher, no. Outfield. This Tiso's Ornelas guy who's like always in our player pool, but never.
Right. People were taking him last year when they thought he was gonna make the team.
Yeah.
It's a good shout too. Elite defender. Like good arm too. Like good defender. Like yeah.
Yeah. He really bounced back, man. Like just like the ultimate post type guy.
Yeah, man. I remember the year when he was before I was in on him. Then he got suspended for the PEDs because he was so cheap. And then that one kind of sucked. And then the following year, it was like, all right, let's buy back into it. And then he had a bad year. That was like the half athletics year, half Braves? Question mark? Where he got like traded? Something like that.
Yeah.
Dude's been around the block. It's time to start thinking about some pitching here. Shane Bieber, full year of Shane Bieber.
Yeah, what's his innings projection look like?
How about Adley Rutschman for the stack with Gunnar?
Yeah, let's do Adley.
Yeah, I'm cool with Adley. Even if he loses some at bats here, like I'll still keep buying the pedigree, like late 20s now.
Yeah, ultimate by the dip. Like he's not his playing time is going to be pretty much fine.
Okay. Yeah, people like Sam, whatever his name is, Bass. What is it?
Yeah, he's good.
Basallo. Samuel Basallo.
He's gonna catch more often than not, but
okay.
Adley still DH.
Okay. And that doesn't change at all this year with like Pete being there. Like Pete just plays first base.
Yep.
They got Mountcastle still too, right?
Yes.
They got Mountcastle and they got Ton. What about Tyler O'Neill?
I mean, I suppose. And I mean, like, I would not draft him in the dinger.
Okay. All right. We got a 5.57 here, Nez. I think we need 2 pitchers and an infielder. One infielder that'd be a layup would be like a Max Muncy add-on to the Dodgers super stack here.
Yeah.
Um, could also go. What else has Baltimore got cooking here? Yeah, nothing really for Baltimore.
What?
Rays, Jonathan Aranda to stack with Yandy Diaz.
So is Miguel Rojas and Max Muncy like for sure a platoon, or like,
No,
or
I
is
don't
it
think
is
so.
it Tommy Edman and Muncy that are platooning?
Tommy won't platoon because he's a switch hitter. But
Well,
Tommy kills lefties.
who's platooning with Muncy then?
No one. It's just like off day Rojas's.
Just take him right now.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
His playing time projection is really strange.
How many? What are you looking at?
The max that I've seen, ATC has him at 111.
Games.
Yep.
Huh. I get maybe that's just physical injury history and the fact that he's what is he 36?
Perhaps.
Yeah. How old is he actually? 36? Like he's like thereabouts.
He's 35, turns 36 in August.
Yeah. Okay. Spencer Horowitz, who they traded for last year to play first base. Any love there?
I don't know, because like now O'Hearn's there. They're both lefty.
Right. Good point.
So, I mean, I would hate to be right-handed pitcher against the Pirates, but like,
it's smart that they're loading up at lefties, Ben, because there's so much in that park goes to die, even with the double wall out and right. But like at least left-handed power can play a little bit there. But that place is terrible for hitting.
Right. Yeah.
I'd like to get excited about Pirates bats, but I can't get there.
That's fine.
Is Big Jack Sawinski still on the team?
Unfortunately.
I love Jack Sawinski.
I'm just so glad that I was right. That this dude was just like an awful baseball player. And
Sawinski and Henry Davis?
I don't think Henry Davis is awful.
No?
I mean, he is awful, but I don't think he's awful. I saying from the jump that Sawinski is just not good at baseball.
Respect it. Draft the password. Interesting. Some ball knowers in the chat. Oh, this is a cheeky little backstack by Chris. Luke Kearshaw and Royce Lewis together. That's a cheeky one. Newt Barr and Walker. That's a fucking smart one. I like both of those.
Big fan of Kearshaw.
Yeah, I'm torn. I don't think the power is real. It's a tough place to hit homers, especially like half of the year.
I think I steal like 40 bags.
Yeah, he's got big steal potential. Oh, Matt Wallner, baby, playing the hits out here. Jasta playing the GD hits out here. Oh, this makes me feel alive.
All right, well, we need some pitching.
What about Willie Castro in Colorado, man? Switch hitter, just plays every day, beacon of health, knock on wood.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah. Okay, rookie Sasaki, it feels bad. I don't think he's going to pitch enough to matter. Dude, Bryce Miller just staring us in the face down here.
Are you a believer in the bounce back?
Big time believer. What about do we have any Padres pitchers available to us? Musgrove is gone.
Yeah, just Mason Miller if you want to believe that they might turn him into a starter.
Is that a thing right now? Is that a narrative?
It last year or in like a little bit, but yeah, he's not going to.
Okay. Didn't you watch Bryce Miller pitch in the postseason, dude? Ooh, he's got ceiling.
He at one point for sure did.
Yeah, I think he's still got potential there.
John, did anybody give you pushback on your hockey tweet this morning?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the X machine in a while. I was kind of hoping somebody would. It was kind of baity.
It was a little baby.
Yeah.
But I was, thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty tough.
Dude. Okay, so I'm a college hockey player and I still play every single day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can throw backhand sauce, I can throw forehand sauce, I can do whatever you want. I can put the puck wherever you fucking want it. There is a 0% chance with one hand that I could get the backhand sauce off the ice, let alone put it perfectly where it should be. Like, just how much wrist strength that takes and how much just finesse with it. It's incredible, man. It's incredible. like people don't realize how heavy the puck is, man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
And just so effortlessly, so smooth too. Matt McLean feels good down here, dude. Wow. Lourdes Gurriel is hurt, right? That's why he's down here. I think he's not going to be ready. What else we got?
Well,
I guess we should focus on a pitcher first.
Yeah.
I mean, both David Peterson and Sanga were nice at isolated points last year.
Yeah.
Ryan Weathers has some ceiling. Casey Mize pitches in a good park. Luis Gil was the rookie of the year 2 years ago. Jacob Lopez was filthy in the starts that he made, but he doesn't have a lot of length to him.
Mm-mm.
Dustin May getting a full-fledged opportunity. Dude,
that's pretty fun.
Dude, what if Dustin May just puts that? I mean, the knock on Dustin May is he's never had swing and miss.
Yeah.
And for a guy who throws 100 or used to throw 100, that's kind of scary. But let's get this guy a full range. Man, there are some fun names here until injuries and stuff kill some of this. But I'm done with the Brandon Pfaadt experiment. What's up with Christian Javier? Is he hurt?
I mean, I think people are just done with the guy.
Yeah. Dude, everybody was jumping all over themselves to take Clay Holmes last year. Clay Holmes had a solid year. Is he the odd man out in that rotation now?
He must be. I mean, it kind of fell apart there at the end.
Roster Resource has 6-man rotation. Peralta, Nolan McLean, David Peterson, Clay Holmes, Sean Manaea, and Kodai Senga.
I would consider Clay Holmes the odd man out.
Yeah. Okay.
He's the only one that has the bullpen experience there,
Yeah. Arrighetti from T-Bear, that's kind of a fun shout.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised Arrighetti's so cheap, but I think it's the projections, but okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
Dan says Holmes going back to the bullpen. Yeah.
That's what I think.
Ronaldo Lopez comeback. We've been talking about fucking Ronaldo Lopez comeback for 10 years.
Someone told me to take Ronaldo Lopez in the stream, and I was like,
I've been down that rabbit hole before. All right. Will be stretched out to be a starter 1 month ago, Atlanta. I mean, that says more about Atlanta's rotation than it does him, does it not?
I think it does.
Schwellenbach's coming back from the injury. Strider was bad last year. Well, I mean, in parentheses, he needs the velo on the fastball to come back. Chris Sale's 37. Chris Sale's my age. He's 36, right? He's Hurston Waldrop. Where does Waldrop go in these?
20th round. I know. I like Waldrop a lot.
Dude, that's not bad.
Yeah, I know.
That's not bad. I mean, he was vying for like rookie of the year candidacy last year.
He feels safer than I think people are giving credit for.
Yeah.
Did
I
he
mean,
did
I
he
don't
even go in that draft?
He did. Yeah, he went in like the 18th or 19th, something like that.
Damn sharps.
Huh. Okay. All right. Yeah, come on, boys. It's an annual tradition. That's good. All right, let's take a look at this one. We kind of deviated from all the stuff we told you guys in the start there, but I think we still kind of landed the plane. Definitely not as stacky as I would like. We can get Nez's thoughts on how he feels about it after. Some longer in the tooth, kind of like household name guys here, but a 7-6-7 nonetheless. Logan Gilbert, Kevin Gausman, Yuri Perez, Bubba Chandler, Tyler Glasnow, Bryce Miller, and Dustin May. I mean, that's a little bit of floor ceiling all over the place for that combo there. I mean, maybe we needed a little bit more safety in innings than Dustin May at the back there, but that's not bad. Gunnar Henderson, love the ADP. And then we do the Freddie plus Betts stack plus Muncie late. Yandy Diaz, who's underpriced, and Adley Rutschman, who could bounce back at pick 200, former like top 6 round kind of guy there. And then we go Kyle Tucker, Michael Nelson Trout, Luis Robert Jr. playing the GD hits out here. Kerry Bonds, another playing the hits. And then Heliot Ramos, Giancarlo Stanton, and Ramon Laureano. Only 5 stacked hitters, 6 stacked hitters, which little underwhelming by my standards, but not crazy the thing. And then some fragility in the pitching staff for sure. What are your thoughts, Nez?
I think we did pretty damn good here. I like the pitching staff. I think that this is a pretty fun staff. We get our tried and true guys at the top, mix in some fun upside in the middle, and then round it out with some guys that, if healthy, should have a spot in the rotation all season long. The points at infield really shouldn't be a problem, right? I mean, this is really kind of putting the best player available thesis to the test, just kind of what do you do when you're in a room of nerds that all just want to jam outfield nonstop?
Sure.
Like, can you zig while others are zagging? I think we tried, and I think we did okay with it. Obviously, we don't have the strongest outfield in the room here, but
yeah,
if you're going to do it, do it with volume, and I think late upside makes a lot of sense in that outfield like strategy as well, which is what we did.
Yeah, like all 3 of these last guys here, like we talk about why we don't like accumulators as much as like homers, because like homers just separate so much more. Like it's 14 points for a home run. So I mean, like the fact that our last 3 picks are 3 guys who could all hit 25 of them is like pretty encouraging.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you don't want. Yeah, I think it just like makes sense based on how far behind we were at outfield, and we were really far behind. Like, let's not sugarcoat it, but yeah. I like the way that we fought back. Like, I think Ramos is a really fun way to fight back against the early outfield stuff. Like he only plays half his games in Oracle, and even when he does, he can still like put together good scores. He's out there every day. He's knock on wood, been a pinnacle of health as well.
Yeah.
Like, I really like this team. I really do.
Yeah.
Like,
nice.
We're definitely going to crush the flex, I think.
Cool. Yeah. Tough. I'm looking at some schedules as we go here. Giants playoff schedules, 6 games in each of the finals weeks there. At Pittsburgh, bad place to hit. At Mets, which is a little bit better place to hit when it warms up in the summer, but still not a great place for home runs and a good pitching staff. And then at home against the Cardinals and the Padres. So Giants don't feel great for that last stretch there. All right, let's hit one last thing in the chat here, and then we will move on. A couple little things here. Brandon Fott, I'm done with the experience. The walks came back in a big way. The swing and miss wasn't there like we saw the previous year. I mean, you can tell me a story that like, you know, he has big time spike weeks, but he's kind of like more of like a daily play for me against plus matchups where he can find 10Ks. Addison Barger is, yes, good. Like his advanced data and his hitting metrics look beautiful, and left-handed power plays well in that ballpark.
I'm a believer, yeah.
Say again?
I'm a believer.
Yeah, me too. The hard hit stuff is just fucking wow. Drew Rasmussen, yeah, I mean, anytime the Rays hang on to pitchers for like a long time, you just kind of perk up, and it's going to be a way better place for Rays pitching this year than Rays hitting. So like the push-pull of like Rays hitting of last year might be Rays pitching of this year. Drew McCaffrey built an 866. He donated 20 Badge Bros memberships today. Shout out to him. First things first, 5 games in the playoffs for Braves stacks. Yeah, I don't love it. And they're also 3 road games. You know, Citizens Bank is a decent place to hit. 5 road games. Citizens Bank, decent place to hit. But then you get 2 in Washington, which isn't so great. And then you get the Rays and the Phils in the second week. So I'd be scared to do like a monster stack, but like stacking 3 of them's fine because you get 7 in the second week of the finals. Not bad. Nez, let's sauce his team to end the program here. Juice McCaffrey goes with an 866. Joe Ryan. Okay, let me just do last names. Ryan, Pavetta, Pablo, King, Ranger Suarez, Trevor Rogers, Shane Boz, and Joe Muss groove it down the middle. And then we go Lindor, Olsen, Riley, Horner, Okamoto. He was the super util signee for Toronto, right? Yeah. And then Noelvi Marte, love to see it. And then we go Acuna, Happ, Harris, Santander, Nootbaar, and Walker. This is a guy who's done some drafts and got some targets and got some stacks planned out. Nez, what do you think?
Yeah, Juice McCaffrey out here. I like this team. I'm not super keen on the Cardinals, but like they're extremely cheap. So, you know, they're definitely a good price to buy in on them. Noelvi, like maybe Noelvi, you know, breaks out, but like I feel like I've seen a lot of Noelvi, and yeah, I'm not so sure that he's the guy, but like it's a last round pick, so like, you know, I'm not going to beat up on that too hard. Got a nice stack, got a nice Braves stack, cheeky little Cubs thing going there, and drafted 8 pitchers, which I think is in vogue again. So yeah, I think you did it right. You know what I mean? Like if there's any way to draft 8 pitchers, I think you do it like that.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, Noelvi's going to play outfield. Allegedly, they're going to put him in right field, which is better for him staying on the field than playing third base and that sort of thing. It's better for his playing time for sure. But yeah, you do not get outfield designation on speculation. You get outfield designation by it being earned the previous year. So yeah, he would have had to have played the majority of his at-bats at DH or the majority of his at-bats at outfield to get said designation. Yeah, dude, not bad. You can definitely tell he came in with a plan. Noelvi still sounds different off his bat, and he's still 24, so I don't know. But yeah, dude, you know who's a sneaky one that nobody's talking about on that team? What about a little Sal Stewart, man?
Yeah, I've drafted Sal Stewart.
Nice, dude. Yeah, a little. If everyone's gonna do the Noelvi plus Matt McLean stack at the end, this feels a little bit like backstack A's last year, where you could do like Sal Stewart plus Steer. You could do Sal Stewart plus Matt McLean. You could do JJ Bleday plus Noelvi. Like the Reds backstack a little bit here. What if the homers just come back in that ballpark, and last year was a little bit of an anomaly?
Perhaps it can be. I don't think it's terrible. Yeah, I'm just like not a Noelvi guy, and he's a pretty key part of it. Not a Friedel guy, but he's hitting lead off. But Ellie's always cool.
Yeah, seems good. Yeah, Christian Encarnacion Strand could become a pain in the ass for the Sal Stewart upside, but at least they're both right-handed, and it's kind of like one or the other. But like, yeah. Anyways, fun to return to baseball. Love to see it, my friends. Great initial draft between Nez and I. Fun stuff. Appreciate all the memberships dropped off today. Jewish McCaffrey, another shout out to our Dog Bowl winners last night in Magikarp and Best Ball Viper. We will be in the streets again tomorrow. TBD on the timeline, but I think it's going to be 1 hour early tomorrow. Then it's going to be the normal off and on the clock show at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then it's going to be a follow-up hoops show after that with Mike Zakarian and Pete Overzet. Should be a lot of fun tomorrow for both hoops and for NFL. Any parting words for the people, Nez?
No, I mean, I will see you in these NBA lobbies and we will see you tomorrow. Yeah, I was leading for a minute for PGA, but I hear that there's a few more rounds left to go. So, yeah, no big deal.
Good shit. Appreciate all the love in the chat here, guys. Any plan for Bachelor's Brawl baseball? We will wait and see there. I'd be a more proponent of some high dollar stuff or something like that, but we'll wait and see based on fill rates and whatever. Don't hold your breath on it.
Yeah, that might be tough. We'll see if like fill rates are like out of control, and we can squeeze it in. Maybe we will, but yeah, there's bigger fish to fry for the baseball lobbies. But we appreciate you guys wanting one.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, about 500 of us hanging out here. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, all that fun stuff. If you're on the X machine, tell your friends about us. Hit that retweet, hit the like, all that good stuff. We'll be doing baseball all season long. We do NBA every single day, except for today when we do baseball. And then we'll be doing some way too early big boards and stuff like that for the NFL crowd there and the laundry bros just like me. Right. All right, Nez, we good?
Yep.
Everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace. See you tomorrow.